Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, getting all the mucus out, man.
It was chunky.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's been a rough week of just this.
I am so sorry.
Yeah.
We don't live near each other, so I know I didn't give it to you. So.
No, I'm 100% convinced I got it while we were traveling, and right now I'm just fighting it off with enough cold medicine to put down the Ultimate Warrior.
Man, an adult dosage would do that to me. So it wouldn't take much.
Yeah. No, it hit my whole family. Everybody's got it. My girlfriend's got it. The cats are luckily spared from it, but yeah, we're all fucking just a wreck.
Well, I hope you all get over it quickly, and it is just a blip in the week.
A blip in the week? Much like most of the wrestling programming this week?
Yeah, I am not going to lie. Did not catch up on AEW.
Okay, so you didn't... Wait, did you see any of Dynamite or any of Collision? Nothing of that. Okay.
Nothing.
No worries.
It's been a busy week. I did see Raw.
Yeah, that's the only thing anybody really cares about right at this moment, because it was the big debut on Netflix, and there is one story dominating the entire thing despite it being 3 hours long. And I mean, of course we're going to talk about it, but should we even start at the top of the show, or should we just get the massive racist elephant out of the room first?
I think we should start with the racist.
Okay, yeah. Hulk Hogan getting booed is the best thing ever for me. That was the highlight of the show.
Me too.
Especially because there was the initial pop of Real American coming out over the speakers, and everybody cheering because it's a banger of a walkout song. But then they actually saw the Hogan and poor Jimmy Hart having to wave that flag in the background with him, and just the level of booing that he got was something to behold.
But before we move on beyond that part, I do want to say WWE did try to mute out the boos, which was stupid because the people were loud as heck. There was nothing they could do, but you could tell there was some tampering to try and mute that down a little bit.
There always is. I honestly, I'm surprised at the brazen nature that they wheeled him out there with. Now, obviously, it was definitely because it was in some contract for Real American Beer sponsoring, WWE, or their partial owner with TKO in the beer brand. I'm not entirely sure what the corporate structure is, but a live appearance by Hulk Hogan had to be in that contract somewhere. So we shouldn't be surprised, but I'm surprised with how they didn't read the temperature back, what was it, WrestleMania 37 in Tampa, where Hogan got booed at WrestleMania, and they had Titus out there to try and create a buffer with it. And I mean, everybody expected this. Come on. Nobody likes Hogan anymore.
Well, and it's not even like he's past his prime type shit. It's none of that. It's his own antics as a human being.
Yeah.
He's a racist. If any of you don't know, there was leaked audio from a conversation he was having in his home, and hard R.
Derek, just for clarification, I don't believe it was his home. It was the home of his friend Bubba the Love Sponge, a shock jock DJ in Florida, and the audio was a recording from a sex tape with Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, I believe.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that. That's something I just learned, or I probably did learn about it back then, and my brain was like, no.
Yeah, I believe this came out during the whole Gawker sex tape thing back in the day.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So it's like known information. I mean, WWE at the time scrubbed him completely from the record.
Yeah.
Like they should have already known better just from that situation. This isn't a type of thing where, oh, you can come back in 5 years. This isn't the same. Like we've talked about this on the podcast many times, but the fan base for wrestling is extremely diverse.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're gonna have those like more heinous kind of types, the fashy types that love Hogan and his out of the ring antics.
Yeah.
But that's not the majority of the wrestling fans, by and large.
No.
They should have known better. I understand he needs to come out. I get that. But they should have gone into this knowing he was going to be booed, and at least have a game plan for it immediately. Because if they do, it doesn't seem like they do. So
no, and there's definitely like tons of like speculation on what the whole thing was backstage and how this all played out. And I'm kind of the mind that this was Triple H a little bit being like, look, I know better. But at the same time, fuck this guy. Let's go out there and sacrifice him to the crowd.
Potentially. I mean, the whole thing was dumb. Like that portion, like the shock on his face was apparent. He knew the boos were there. Like, I don't know. Like you're trying to sell us a racist with, and his like hyper nationalist beer. Like what? Congrats! Like you made like 0.8% of the audience happy and pissed off the rest of them. So
it's the level of like disjointed like unawareness that is happening. The lack of self-awareness on Hulk Hogan should be no surprise. Like the dude's never been self-aware.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, any point in his career outside of like the initial turn to Hollywood Hulk Hogan, that was the only time he had any sort of self-awareness, and then it reinflated his ego where he just became delusional with the NWO. But ever like outside of that, the dude's never really had the ability to not get high on his own supply, and that supply being his own farts.
Oh yeah. Well, like that leaked audio from back in the day. It wasn't just the racism. Like you could tell the type of person he really is. Like he views even his own daughter as a commodity.
Well,
not as a human.
Yeah, not just that, but there was also the leaked audio about his son and the car accident that he caused, and the blame that he was putting on his son's friend in that moment. Like, just be like, okay, dude, you lack the ability to empathize with other human beings, but also you lack the ability to just be a person, Well,
and I appreciate you bring that up too, because that's just a reminder for everyone who forgot that this man literally has none when it comes to empathy. Yeah. Like he rolled a 0. Like it's crazy. Like to think that he's going to come out there and be adored by the modern day wrestling fan base. You'd have to be in like a time capsule or something, or suffer from some major CTE. Like,
which, if Hogan ever took a bump in his life anymore, I could see him having some of that. But like, let's face it, the dude was never a good worker. He was never known for his work rate outside of Japan.
Well, and I love like back in the day when The Rock would face him and oversell everything.
Yeah.
Basically just making a joke of Hogan.
Yeah, I mean, the best example of that is still the Shawn Michaels match, where he sold like an octopus being electrocuted, like just
I forgot about that. Yeah,
jumping around like he's being electrocuted every time he takes like a big boot, or just flopping all the way over the top rope, down the ramp and back.
It's just like no one takes this man seriously. Like they shouldn't have brought him out. Like I do think they can spin this in a heel way, where they might recover a little bit, but I don't think they're going to recover a lot.
Yeah,
overall, with having him around. So
yeah, latest rumor I saw was I think it was from Sean Ross Sapp that WWE is reevaluating how they're going to use Hogan in the future and how it's going to work with their beer sponsorship. With
yeah, I got it. I got it. You put Hogan in a casket match, but he's already in the fucking casket, and they just cut to a camera, like off of, let's say, Broadview Avenue, where there's like a cemetery, and it's just where he's buried. Can we just do that?
Yeah, just bury him alive.
Yep, and just cut to the camera on the inside with him like scratching.
No, I don't even want to see him on there. I just want to see him get put in there. It closed up, sealed, and let it slowly lowered, and then all of the black wrestlers in WWE come by and each get a turn with a shovel and putting dirt on top of them.
Ooh, can we do where it's like pre-filled with cement and he's lowered into the cement, the wet cement?
Let's do that. I like that. Everybody gets a turn.
Lower him down, and then every African American wrestler gets to help pour the cement down there for a little bit.
Yeah, and it gets designated as a brand new gender neutral bathroom, so everybody can take their turns pissing on it.
Oh, that goes without saying.
Yeah,
I mean, like, we're literally gonna make this a piss pool. So,
yeah. All right, now that's out of the way, let's talk like Raw on Netflix, the debut. As I'm calling it, the best and worst of WWE, encapsulated in 3 hours, right?
You know what? I've been wondering all week, okay, on how to describe this, and even up until now, I did not have words.
Yeah.
That literally describes this, because I both loved and I fucking hated this.
I mean, let's talk about the
all
pros
at the same time.
Right off the bat, right? Obvious things. Production value looked phenomenal. Yep. The entire show was awesome with the camera work, the levels of way that the resolution, the 4K cameras, the shot choices, the
lighting was amazing.
Yeah, the lighting
was amazing.
Yeah, the crowd, awesome. Love the crowd. The LA crowd fucking killed it. But just like all of it, it felt big. It felt
like a PLE.
Yeah, like they sold it on that idea and they delivered on that aspect. The presentation felt monumental. Particularly, I really enjoyed what they were calling the cold open, even though that's not really how cold opens work. With the video package with Triple H doing the voiceover and those screens and it being projected around the ring in the beginning, I thought that was exceptionally well done. I thought that looked fantastic. It hit you in the right places, like kind of like emotionally. Like you're like, oh, I'm a part of something here. This feels big.
Yes, but then they started showing whoever that person is that's painting or people.
Yeah. And
all of a sudden you see this fucking giant yellow mustache. And you're just like, no, don't pan out. Please don't pan out. And then they pan out. And it's fucking Hulk Hogan's dirty ass face.
Now, that's something interesting about that, where I want to throw some credit to, I think it was Squared Circle subreddit, who somebody in the comments pointed out that when they did the reveal of the full thing with it being in the ring, there's a very obvious glare in the bottom corner, and you can see in one of the earlier frames that where that glare is directly where Brock Lesnar was painted in there.
Yeah, I mean, because there is some news about all that kind of too. Not necessarily Brock Lesnar fully related, but yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
So I gotta give credit to, I don't know who the user was on Squared Circle, but somebody in there, by all means, take all the credit. I don't care. The whole community.
So it was like, do you think the editing team was able to throw in a glare there at the last minute?
I don't know if it was the editing team or the people actually filming, just having it right there
at that
angle, like when they were, getting that shot, but whatever, it worked. Then like the actual show like kicks off. We get Triple H. Triple H doesn't want to be on camera anymore, introducing the show, being the first person you actually see.
Well, okay, that part of that was the best part of it for me, of that whole like panning around and everything and watching that intro, like cold open, I guess.
Yeah.
Was when the curtains dropped around the ring and Triple H is just standing there, because you knew who it was immediately, even though he was like in full shadow. Like I said, the lighting team, spot on.
Oh yeah,
spot on, because they lit him up perfectly. It was like a PLE. Like, I don't know how else to explain. It was like a PLE.
Where they screwed up for me though was when Triple H was telling the crowd, the WWE universe as they like to call them, show them what this is all about, and they don't show the crowd. The crowd is still in complete darkness. Like, that was your cue to bring the lights up. You should have brought the lights up right there so we can see, the smiling, happy faces cheering at that moment. That was your cue, lighting team. You missed it.
Well, I wasn't going to give them a perfect score, Alex, because yes, that was one of my gripes. You didn't light up the audience when you were supposed to.
Very obvious cue there, and you just ignored it.
Yeah. That one was a fun one, because like the few people you could actually see were people who had like lights on them, or like their cameras out, like their phones out with the flash on and everything. Like, it was funny. Yeah, it was real funny.
The next funny moment was Triple H nearly getting murked by the pyro team in the ring. That looked real too close to comfort. I'm surprised he still has eyebrows.
Or a beard.
Yeah.
Or a beard. Like, for real.
Oh, man. And then, like, again, fantastic moment. We get the final boss, The Rock, the People's Champion, coming out and wasting no time in destroying all of kayfabe. Like, obliterating the storylines.
I have no goosebumps, so I can't show it off. But yeah, he was like,
He does that every time. Every time he comes out, he's got the goosebumps. I think it's just something that he can do now on command. It's his one acting talent.
I think he's a goose.
He's a goose. He's a
like
silly goose.
He's like a silly little goose. But yeah. Not gonna lie to you, this really kind of pulled me out. Him being a silly little goose here and just forgetting kayfabe existed.
You and everybody else. He just decided, hey, all that storyline that we built up over the last year, and just really revitalizing all of our story arcs, all of our big shows, and all the work that me personally, The Rock, and everybody else has put into this, both inside the ring, outside the ring, on social media. I'm just gonna nuke all of it. It's just all gone now.
So it can go one of two ways.
Yeah.
It's either kayfabe we don't know and understand yet. Like, somehow Cody is in with the final boss and everything now.
Yeah.
Which I don't think so, personally. I think it's just him just destroying kayfabe. Because I was like, where's the belt with Cody's blood? Like, where is you mocking him and mocking his mom? Like, where is this? Instead, it was all love. And I was like, what is happening? Like, no joke, I turned to Christina when we were watching this, and I was like, he's pulling a Drake. Yep. Like, he's gonna like come at you one moment and then act like your best friend's the next. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, he is just. I'm trying to find okay, what does this mean character-wise for everybody involved here? And it seems like The Rock has got a schedule coming up where he's gonna be in a bunch of movies. He's like, I'm not risking anything. Fuck WrestleMania this year. That's just what it seems like. But
I don't know. I think he might show up.
He might here and there. I mean, he already showed up on NXT because it was right next door, and the next day, yeah. But he's alluded that there's still more stuff at play in the near future, which sure, fine. All I know,
it better not be against Cody,
no,
because I'm gonna be like, what? Like, bro, you did this on Raw. This wasn't like outside the cameras. Like,
yeah, this was just like, I hope they're kind of like subscribing to kind of like the CM Punk blueprint, as I'm gonna call it, where you're gonna mix real life with kayfabe to the point where what is a work and what is a shoot is entirely up to you at that moment, and you're just gonna settle on what works when you find it, and just like keep ratcheting up that aspect of it. So that way, you know, because like Seth has been doing this too, where you're incorporating some stuff that feels a little bit real to you when you're talking about like your opponent and so forth. Like if they're just expanding on that, like company wide, I think it could still work.
I agree. I think it can also play into Cody's I'm the quarterback kind of thing, where he has to play nice with everyone on the team to some degree, except for Kevin Owens.
Yep.
But I think that I don't know. It's hard to describe. Like all this work to make The Rock look like this piece of shit in WWE, not just like normal life, like him just being himself, piece of shit. And then you just undo it all with one Raw episode. Like,
look,
there's ways to ramp down and move on. You know what I mean? I get that. Like it happens in wrestling. People move on to new rivalries and shit. But you're not kissing and hugging, like,
and sharing,
and that's how
backstage. And then
driving. Yeah, and pretending to eat In and Out.
Look,
so
we give Dewey a lot of shit here on the podcast, rightfully so. But credit where credit's due. His persona as the final boss the past year, top tier work from him. I'm gonna give, like, if he turns that back on, I feel like he could revitalize the whole thing. Like he could change the whole show when he wants to turn it back on.
So that moment there let me know that my theory crafting about him like being the puppet master with Solo and shit was none of that was real. Like there was none of that.
Yeah, there was no allusions to that whatsoever.
No, and I was hoping that when he did return, we would see something like he comes out and he ends up taking the Ulafala or something himself. Yeah. Or like comes back with a vengeance and like Cody's just chilling and all of a sudden he gets hit from behind by The Rock. You know, something crazy. But we didn't get that. We got, hey, I'm gonna come hug you, brother, and ask you how your mom's doing.
Yep. And then we also got 30 minutes into the show, the first match of 4 on this super long fucking episode of Raw that felt like it went on forever, with Roman and Solo and another bog standard bloodline match, I'm going to say, because this was the same structure and setup of all of the bloodline matches that we've ever had, where there's really like, okay, yes, it's bloodline rules for tribal combat or whatever they're going to call it for whichever time they're going to wrestle, where it's just like no DQs, anything goes, tons of interference, and finisher spams.
And boy howdy was that happening. Like, don't get me wrong, good match, like solid match actually. I would say both of them performed great. Like I'm really proud of what Solo has done in the past like 9-10 months. I wasn't at first, but watching him grow into it, like I'm real happy to see that growth. And I feel like because they treated this what was supposed to be a standard episode technically of Raw as a PLE, this type of shit will only last for so long with how people like enjoy it, because you're not going to keep getting this same storyline over and over and over again. Now, like, we've technically ended who has the Ulafala. Now it's a new, like, how does he retain it and everything. I worry with treating the very first episode of Raw on Netflix as a PLE. Many people are going to assume this level is going to happen every time.
I think you got a point there. Like, I don't think they can maintain the sort of work they did production wise, like with the drone flying around, consecutively, 52 weeks a year. But like, as far as like storyline match quality goes, absolutely. Like they could do this, 6 days a week. As far as I'm concerned, as far as what I've come to know, WWE can do as like a product with their wrestlers. Yeah. The one thing I really missed about this is this Raw, as far as like an entertainment level, was subpar compared to where they've shown me they can rise to on a week-to-week basis this past year alone. Like, this was the lowest like enjoyment I had watching a Raw all year long.
I think a big part of it is all of the in-between.
Yeah.
There's so much. There's always in-between. We all know that. When wrestling fans, like, we all sit there and we know we're going to get a promo or a call out or something in between. We're going to get commercials. We have to deal with that. We know that. Yeah. But it was like 30 minutes in between a match or more. Like,
and like, okay, so Roman wins. He gets his follow back, and Rock congratulates him. They do the Predator handshake, and we move forward. It's fine. It's fine. It's not a bad way to open the show if it had been like 30 minutes of downtime before that. They should have like got to this a lot faster,
Yeah.
Just because like the crowd had so much energy before this.
Seriously, and I felt bad for these guys because like I said, overall, great match. Like, yeah, like, it was real fun seeing these two just give 110 the whole time. They work really well together. Yeah, I mean, really well.
Roman's, he's fucking fantastic. He's just damn good. And Solo's really coming to his own, so I really appreciate, his position right now. There's no complaints there. They sucked a lot of energy out of there with The Rock, Like, that was too long of just glazing himself, WWE and Netflix.
Well, like, you remember the old joke, like, this, like, artist or musician, like, removed a rib and can self-glaze, like, hardcore? We watched The Rock do that on this show. In the ring.
Yeah. The whole process, beginning to end. He finished on his own face. There's a glaze coating him.
And an uneaten fucking In-N-Out burger and fries next to him.
Look, the one thing I'll say is in-ring promos can be great. And we got that from John Cena with his appearance because, number one, he comes out, very apparently they're going to do like special merch for every city that they stop in with him because he had like the LA Clippers themed gear on that they're definitely selling in the booth, definitely selling online for him. And like, okay, he's going back to his old bag of tricks. I'm here for it. Let him hit all of his, greatest hits. Let him do that shit because he deserves it. He was like their top star carrying the company on his back during probably one of the darkest periods in the company's history. Let's be honest, like one of the lowest points in their, sales, ticket, viewership. Like, he was still like pulling in numbers for them.
Well, and let's be real, we used to make fun of him back then. Yeah. But when you look back at his time, that man was a shining beacon in the darkness. Like, he kept everything afloat. He made kids entertained. He made them the focus of not only like his in like ring or like in WWE stuff, but outside too. Yeah. He's a great guy. And it's kind of weird to get to this point where he's just calling it quits. because we're so used to how wrestlers just keep coming back.
Yeah.
I believe him.
He has that ability to come across as 100% authentic when he's working, you know? Whether it be, you know, selling an injury angle or, you know, getting prepared for a surprise. Like, you believe him when he says something. He's got that ability. I do want to throw out, like, he just straight up gave all the foreshadowing and told us exactly how this next run is going to go. Because he laid it out in reverse order, too. He declared himself for the Rumble. So we know he's going to fail there. He said he might do Elimination Chamber, so we know he's going to fail there. The third one he mentioned, the last one he mentioned was Money in the Bank. So that's where it's going to happen. That's where he's going to win.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
I think Punk is going to ruin Cena's chance of winning the Rumble, forcing what we finally have all wanted, a Cena-Punk rivalry.
That is what we want. I don't know if they're going to do it at the Rumble or Elimination Chamber, but you're right. It's definitely one of those two. He's definitely going to have a feud with whoever eliminates him from the Rumble. Absolutely. And then he's going to feud with whoever pins him at Elimination Chamber. Those are two for sure things. So we'll have to wait and see kind of like, okay, how that plays out. And then I'm calling the shot right now that he's going to win the Money in the Bank contract, play it out for him to cash in for that, you know, record-breaking 17th championship right there.
Yeah, which belt do you think he's going to go for, though?
It depends on who's holding what at the time that he gets that briefcase. Because if we're saying, like, right now, I would say Gunther, absolutely. Because that would just be too good of a match to work with Gunther and Cena as characters at their place right now, and as a way to get that belt off of Gunther, unfortunately, because his reign is starting to kind of stagnate and kind of like not really get anything interesting going, you know?
Yeah, after they played that weakness kind of like line with him after losing to Cody, which was smart, you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely floundered since then. I don't feel him rising above everything. It's still constantly like he's just retaining, or he's using old tricks over and over and over again to win, which can be very boring to watch.
Yeah, kayfabe wise, he doesn't feel nearly as invincible as he did when he had the IC title.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm okay with. I'm okay with that, but play into that more. You know, I agree with you. If it was right now, it would be Gunther.
Yeah.
I don't think they put him up against Shinsuke for the U.S. title.
No.
I even though I would like to see a match between him and Braun Breaker, I don't think they would do that.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think they could have it end up being babyface v babyface, the ultimate babyface John Cena, and the Wonder Boy fucking Cody Rhodes.
See, if they did that, I would need something that we haven't seen in years, and that is a heel Cody. You know, back when he was doing the indies before, you know, AEW formed, like when he was like pure shit ass heel Cody Rhodes, and he was like one of the most evil motherfuckers on the planet. Like, that's what I would want out of that. Like, whether it's like after the loss causing the turn or leading up to it causes the turn, don't care. But I want that version of Cody to run rampant through WWE, because he was just the biggest piece of shit on the planet, and it was great.
He's already got that Homelander kind of look. And we've been seeing this mask start to crumble from Cody a little bit because of Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
He could be heading down a heel turn, because a lot of times champs do the heel turn while retaining, or as they lose, you know. So it's very possible. I think you're right, though. I think if Cody were to turn heel, it has to be the pendulum has to swing all the way the other way.
Yeah. Like
it has to be the dirtiest motherfucker ever.
Yeah, and then he has to come back with his hair dyed black again, just to signify it, because it's so evil when he's like that. Oh man, he looks despicable. I love it.
Guy liner,
Mm-hmm.
black fingernail polish,
Mm-hmm.
and a pink stripe.
Mm,
No, gold.
gold? Okay.
Gold.
okay. I'm all for it. But honestly, I do want to give all the credit in the world to John Cena right there.
Yeah.
On that promo, because he just showed how much of a pro he is at this game, and like he laid out everything. He had the crowd like along for the ride of the promo of him not having the confidence, and like they weren't 100% with him for getting him the confidence to come back. I think they needed just a, once again, I think it was just a byproduct of The Rock's opening promo kind of sucking the wind out of everything. But he did what he had to do out there in order to show why he's the best at doing these kind of things, because he sold everything. Like, it's like, no, I mean, I'm on a massive losing streak. It's been how long since I've been in this ring and I walked away with a dub? It is what it is. But wait a minute, what in getting to the never give up? Perfect. You know, chef's kiss. Dude is just so damn good at this. It shows why, like, people like, and there was the whole like Super Cena run where, you know, the company just like put all their faith in him, rightfully so, but why the crowd hated him and why the crowd loved him, and why, like, after all these years, people have finally just, no, it's universally accepted that John Cena is great for these reasons. He does all this stuff so well. Yes, he's not the most engaging performer between the ropes, and he has the 5 moves of doom and really nothing else, and yeah, you can hear him calling the moves from the cheap seats, but you know what, he's great. Like, how many people got hurt on his watch, you know?
Well, I was gonna say, man, like, the type of person he is in the ring during this time is also the type of person he is in real life normally too, though. He cares about the others. He steps up above and beyond to try and make everyone happy and safe. Like, yes, Super Cena was like weird because like they just, you know, threw everything behind him, but it was nice at that time because there wasn't a whole lot fucking going on otherwise. So,
and it did lead to some great moments, because at that point in time, like, Cena realized that he was invincible and untouchable, like, company wise, that allowed him to do some dumb shit like that match with him and Punk, where they're just like, no, we're gonna bust out pile drivers, you're gonna do my moveset, I'm gonna do your moveset, you know, we're just gonna do like I think that was the one where Cena busted out a Canadian Destroyer on him too in a match, you know, just,
I believe you're right, yeah.
You know, throwing caution to the wind, being like, no, what are they gonna do to us? They got nothing else. We are their only plan. There is no plan B. Let's just have fun.
You know what needs to happen? They need to treat John Cena like Goku, who hasn't trained in a long time, and all of a sudden starts training again. And we see him work his way to Super Cena, because he can't just go to Super Saiyan.
No.
Well, I guess if you grew up in like non-violent home and stuff, technically, I think that's the canon. That's why the kids can do it so easy.
I thought it was because the like Goku had like risen into such a high power level at the time that they were conceived.
I don't remember. I remember reading something about like kindness and stuff, but I could be
whatever.
wrong.
Yeah, whatever.
It is whatever. But yeah, like have John Cena work his way up to Super Cena, where all of a sudden it unlocks like near the end of his run, and all of a sudden he's like undefeated until the final match.
Yeah, let's roll with that, because that would be dope. Honestly, I'm hoping as sort of like a tribute to his career, he starts attempting things that like didn't get over in the past. Preferably not the like Thunder Fist move that he would do, but like the springboard cutter that he would do, like that where he just looks like a flying rock, like just a brick being launched. Like, I want to see him try some stuff that, you know, he attempted in the past and couldn't really get over, and I want to see him like succeed in those things.
I want to see him do like a full on moonsault off the world's deadliest rope.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a Samoa slam, like someone over the ropes.
Yeah, like just get wild with it, have some fun
for real.
Yeah.
I will admit, out of this entire show, he reminded me like of all that. And I honestly, he was the shining beacon again in this show. Like, this was the best part of the show, in my opinion, overall.
Yeah. Now, there was other stuff on the show we should probably, cover, too.
Yeah.
We had Liv and Rhea, women's championship match. Rhea getting the win. Fantastic. About damn time. 6 months too late getting her hands on Dominic finally and hitting him with a low blow and a riptide. And then we had like the Undertaker doing his glazing around the ring and celebrating for whatever reason. Again,
it's like a PLE, which is one of my biggest gripes too. I don't like that they treated this like a PLE. Don't get me wrong. I know belts don't always only drop at PLEs and stuff, but they treated this like this was like fucking SummerSlam or something. And I don't know, like I was happy with Liv's reign finally.
She had reached a good point in her reign, like in between the ropes, in her like promos and her character work, like she had reached a good place in it finally, and now's when they do the switch, which is strange, but look, this is the test for Liv's character now. Like, can she still be as engaging and entertaining without the championship?
I think she can. I like that knee to the face. I think unlocks something. Like that little bit of CTE, like something switched on, and she's just been on fire ever since.
Yeah. I really loved the touch the other week where she had the megaphone with her to the ring. That was a great bit, a fun gimmick to have. I hope she busts that out just occasionally. Doesn't need it every week, but just every once in a while. I think it's a great thing to pull into like her tool bag and have. The upside of this is maybe finally after tonight's match with Finn and Priest, we're finally done with the Judgment Day being a thing. And the Terror Twins, like that feud can finally, like, it's been like a fucking year of this shit. Like, let's move past it finally.
Well, it's not even just a year. It's stalled, like hardcore too. Like I feel like it was a little too late with some of this stuff. Because they were just saving it for Netflix, essentially, is now we know. But I don't know, like. I worry about what'll happen with like the people still in Judgment Day once it breaks up, because I agree with you. I think this might be it.
Yeah,
like the rivalry be over. Judgment Day is kind of done at that point. I worry about where some of these wrestlers are going to kind of head into as their next thing. Not so much Dominic, because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, and he's a dirtbag, and we love that. Like
we do.
He's going to be fine. Finn, he'll be fine.
I think so too.
Finn's one of those guys where like he can rise and fall on the card, kind of at his own whim. He seems like he's the kind of wrestler that has the ability to kind of like turn it on when he needs to. And I think after his match with Priest on Raw tonight, dude, have a carb. It's okay. You can have a carb. Have a slice of bread, maybe. Jesus Christ, dude. You can take your foot off the gas a little bit.
I think if he were to eat even just a breadcrumb, the man would no longer be able to do the curb stomp onto someone safely, because he weighs so little, it actually doesn't hurt.
I know, dude. Those fucking abs are insane. Jesus, he's got like 16 of them.
Dude. I honestly, I feel like we're like 1 to maybe 2 losses away for him to start going like a Clockwork Orange angle. We're going to start seeing him go like fucking weird with it.
Bring it. I mean, Finn's one of those guys where he can do like face things occasionally, and like I appreciate his work. Like outside of character as far as like equality and stuff like that. But
Oh,
he's just fantastic as a little shit-heel bastard. He's just too good at it.
It's like it comes so natural to him.
Yeah.
You like it like once you find out about his stuff outside of WWE, you're like, oh, okay, he's not really like that. But it's like, do you know somebody like real close to you that's like that?
It seems like that, right? Like you're just channeling something.
Dude, like he's seen some shit to be like this. So I don't know. He's great. I don't worry about him. I think Carlito's gonna suffer from Judgment Day breaking up, but I also don't think he added anything to Judgment Day to begin with, other than an apple and some casual bigotry.
Yeah, some casual bigotry. JD McDonough will be whatever. Honestly,
he'll be in the playpen probably for a little bit.
Yeah, he'll take some losses to somebody else in the future. That's it.
I didn't mean to mimic your cough, but your cough made me need to cough.
Sorry. Speaking of coughing, we got we got Jey Uso versus Drew, and Jey with the entrance of the year with Travis Scott coming out with just a fucking blunt. Wide in the open. My God.
And if I remember, Jey didn't hit it.
No, he did not. I believe Triple H thanked him for resisting the urge to hit it.
Yeah, you can't do that on screen. You gotta keep that off screen.
Yeah, not with the Usos' history of driving under the influence either.
Yeah, like I feel like before they walked out, like he definitely did hit it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So because like Travis was so natural. I mean, Travis also smokes a lot of pot, so I expect him to just easily just puff pass real quick to anyone. But yeah, it felt like they were sharing for a little bit before they came out, and it was kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie to see that, because I was like, we're old heads now at this point, so like seeing that is not something you would see on TV unless it was like that fucking 80s where you might see some shit.
It brought me back to like old school WCW era where Paul White, who at the time was in the NWO as the Giant, and he came out to the ring smoking a cigarette, going up against the jobber who fucking attacked him, and without stopping to take the cigarette out of his mouth, just fucking choke slammed him and pinned him, and just like with one foot on him, and just kept smoking the entire time. Like it brought me back to that like I don't give a fuck era.
Yeah, I think it definitely ramped up a bit. I enjoyed it though. I'm not gonna lie. I was laughing my ass off.
Oh yeah. I was laughing my ass off at Pat and Cole just going on and on about yeeting, and Cole being unable to get the rhythm of it at all. Just there's not a rhythmic bone in his body.
That man is so white.
He's painfully white. Painfully white.
Oh my God.
Dude.
But it brings a lot of humor on its own, because like he's so genuine too. Like he's not doing this to make fun of anyone.
No.
Like this is just him. This is just Cole.
Yeah, this is Cole with the influence of Pat McAfee at his side, because like Pat, he has his moments where I really enjoy him, but a lot of times he's kind of shit at his job. It's also it brings me a little bit of joy anytime they've brought him back after he's had like time off, and he's just there for like a one-off appearance on the PLE, and he has no idea what's going on in the storylines because he hasn't been watching the show at all, and he's just acting incredibly surprised at whatever is developing in front of him. I get some joy from that. I get some sick joy out of that.
They've been saving his ass for Netflix, all for him to not even keep up with any of the shit that's been going on.
I know.
So Cole was explaining everything.
Yeah.
Like getting like apparently the viewers caught up. Fuck no, that was for Pat McAfee, man.
Yeah, that was just Cole being like, I'm here to save your ass. Like you didn't read your crib notes at all. Like you've left your bullet points back in the trailer.
He was too busy like staring in the mirror as his eyebrows would disappear and then reappear.
Trying to
which I get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, the match itself between Drew and Jay was just whatever. Honestly, it was whatever. It was fine. It was not great, but it was fine. Like
I think it did show pretty well that how resilient Jay is and how you can put him up against way bigger dudes and he will hold his own.
Yeah. I also think it was a fantastic showcase, just showing how great Jay is at connecting with the crowd at this point. Like they are with him 1,000%. Like there is not a single moment where people are not like, yeah, no, Jey Uso's the man. Come on.
I honestly believe they need to strap him up with either the heavyweight belt or the undisputed. I don't know, man. Like the way he gets the whole crowd to move and everything, he barely even has to do a yeet.
Yeah,
like he can just put his hands up, and then everybody's already doing it. Like,
and then when he gets like fully throated, like with his whole chest doing the up and down of the yeeting, like the crowd is like all of them are on their feet for it. It's great.
Well, and unlike a lot of other wrestlers where it does sometimes feel weird to see them come out with a microphone or something in the audience, talk to everyone. Like not so much Kevin Owens, as I'm kind of used to that now. It was weird at first, but not with Jay. Never once. It just felt right. Like he's with the people. He's of the people. I fucking love it, man. Like they need to strap him up hard.
Yeah,
like just Viagra that shit.
At the same time, like he's one of those rare talents that exists in WWE right now that doesn't need a belt.
True. I do actually agree with that. I do. A lot of times we expect the popular ones to be strapped up. But he doesn't actually need to be technically. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Not many wrestlers can do what he does with the crowd. Like his brother can't do that.
Yeah, Big Jim has his moments though.
He's been having more moments lately too.
Yeah, that's damn true. But before we get into that, let's main event. Punk versus Rollins. Probably like one of the more anticipated matches that we've had in a long time. As far as like WWE goes, I would say since the Hell in a Cell, Drew and Punk. Where like this is another one of those moments where this is like the best of WWE, where they have built something to the point where it just feels massive. And I'm glad they got the showcase, you know?
Me too. I would not have wanted this as an opener.
No.
This is definitely a closing kind of thing because there's a lot of emotions high between these two. Like you were speaking about earlier, when with how Punk can manipulate storylines where you don't know fully if it's just a shoot or like there's real shit being mixed in. Seth is very good at that too. He does the same thing. And honestly, I feel like this was also a little bit of an ode to John Cena as well. This match, we got to see some cross move action, I should say.
Yeah, we got some of that. We also got a bit of a love note to the formerly known as Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, because this is the exact same finish that Punk did to him with the back-to-back GTSs with the bounce off the rope after the first one and just slumping onto him for the second one, as many people called out.
Yes. These two were able to spin a whole story into this match, and it was great. It was the highlight match of the night for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I really like that we got some stomps though from Punk. We got some GTSs out of fucking Seth. Like what?
Yeah, and it goes to show you just how difficult that is to do without actually hurting someone.
I didn't get to watch like the after stuff much, but I did catch Punk's.
Yeah,
and I loved how he was like, I might have to change my finisher. That's the first time I've taken one of those.
For real, too. He hit that hard. Because, like, it wasn't even that he hit him with the knee. Like, he still hit him, like, correctly with, like, the top of his thigh. But that was snug, man. Like, that was real impact there. That sucked.
Well, and again, these two are, you know, like, there's some real beef there. There's some like over exaggerated portions of it, but there is real beef there. And it played out. It played out a bit. Well, and one of the nice things that I really like about this specific rivalry is how no matter how much Punk wanted to hate Seth Rollins, he could not help himself but compliment him the entire time he was like supposed to be shooting at him.
Yeah.
And it built up over time with each little promo and everything. It was great. I love that because it was like total like dad behavior. You know what I mean?
It's because, you know, Punk is still at his heart like an old school guy that respects the business that, you know, he walked into. And some of, you know, the traditions of that is, you know, when you're working with somebody and you're cutting a promo on them, like, you don't bury them completely. You still got to elevate the person that you're going up against. You got to legitimize them at least a little bit and get them over in the process too.
Oh yeah, no, like what I love about this one specifically is it gives off very much like the master and apprentice kind of vibe, where like this is the final test for Seth Rollins, and for Punk's size, not for anybody else. Like, you beat me, or if you elevate to this level, like, I'll respect you 100%, even though I already respect you 100%. But in ring, it was just so good. I love the build up for this because, again, this Raw felt like a PLE, and this was a PLE level match to me.
Yeah. It's just a shame that there was only 4 matches on 3 hours, and there was a lot of downtime in between. And I mean, there were some highlights like outside of like the in-ring stuff. Like, we did get New Day kind of a little bit, you know, hitting the same notes, really grasping at straws for being complete delusional heels and saying that Drake won the beef in LA. Sorry, Kofi, nobody fucking believes that. That was during one of the commercial breaks for us in the United States and what people got to see internationally. Like, Kofi, come on, bro. No, nobody saw that coming. Come on, don't even try. We also got Logan Paul declaring that now he is 100% full-time WWE, which, okay, whatever. People already hate you anyway. You can't make it any worse, I guess.
Well, I think that's because he needs money.
He definitely needs money for all his lawsuits.
Yeah. Yeah. Kofi made it home safe, right?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay, good.
It's because he shaved his mustache. He's a little bit harder to recognize now, so he was able to like just get around that. He was able to just, you know, avoid people.
I mean, everybody knows, like, as a heel, you kind of have to do some shit against the town you're in. God damn, did he choose one?
Yeah.
I love it. I fucking love it. That's hilarious.
But I mean, to close out with Raw, like, we're now less than a month away from the Royal Rumble, and we've had after Raw went off the air, Punk, once again being one of the all-time greats, cut a fantastic promo that went out on the socials after the show was over, declaring himself for the Royal Rumble, which is 2 heavy hitters already declared for the Rumble. You know, we got Punk, we got Cena, and as of SmackDown this weekend, we got Roman declaring himself via Paul Heyman to be in the Royal Rumble. Also, side note, this is mainly just for us and our unprecedented joy that we finally got an announcement of 2K25 during Raw.
We did.
Yeah.
Cody looks a lot better, too, in 2K25 than in 2K24.
Biggest glow up is definitely going to be Bayley. Jesus.
For real.
Oh, man. They did her dirty before.
You know, my other theory about the Rumble was that there might be a little bit of a John Cena Roman Reigns feud from the Rumble. I do believe there's a good chance that if Punk doesn't win the Rumble, it's going to be Roman who wins. So
we'll see. We got plenty of room for surprises. We also have some room for Punk to call in his favor from Paul Heyman and see how that works out. There's some stuff there. Oh, you got a look on your face. What's cooking in that brain of yours?
What if that favor is tell Roman to drop out of the Rumble?
What if that favor is tell Roman I'm taking his spot in the Rumble? And that spot is number 30. Last one in.
Ooh, dirt. Ooh.
You looked up like you were about to be smited.
Yeah, my green screen.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, no, we're good now. My green screen is notorious for falling. So any slight little bump and it will come at you.
Yeah.
So I was worried.
It's out for blood.
I see it moving again. It is. Yeah.
Look, so on that note, we still have some SmackDown stuff, which I'm going to be honest with you, this week's SmackDown felt a lot like most of the Raw that we saw this past year, where it was barely controlled chaos throughout the show. Nick Aldis, just throwing caution to the wind, a lot of impromptu matches booked on the show, during the show, a lot of random madness, some great character work by LA Knight, being both amazing and one of the dumbest people in WWE by just attacking Jacob Fatu and locking him out of the arena. That's not gonna come back and bite you in the ass in your next match immediately.
All night I kept hearing the announcers call him Fatu.
Yeah.
And it was really bothering me. I was like, it's Fatu. It's fucking Fatu. What is happening?
Yeah.
There's a lot of mistakes in SmackDown in that sense. You are so correct. And I shouldn't say mistakes. There was a lot of just craziness. There was a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
A lot of it fun, though.
Yeah, a lot of it fun. Stuff with Cody, KO. Fucking great stuff there.
I like Chelsea Green's match. I like this kind of, not fully knowing what to do as the champ. And kind of leaning into, more conniving, I guess I'll say.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. I also want to say that I really loved the added super patriotic gear for her, and Piper Niven coming out wearing a sparkly Secret Service uniform. That was great. I love that little touch. That was fantastic.
I know some people might not have liked it.
No,
I feel the same. Fucking same. I absolutely fucking love it, because I feel like we've seen multiple wrestlers / teams attempt the super nationalism kind of thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't even have to do the nationalism end. She just has to wear a fucking flag, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. She is the best 2-year champ for the U.S. Women's U.S. Championship, and every fucking day, bro, setting records. Let me tell you,
every day.
I gotta say though, Michin also looked great though. I don't want to act like she wasn't awesome out there too.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as their last match for the title, but still pretty damn good.
Yeah, I think where it was a little bit different was it didn't seem like she was doing as much, but what she did do stood out.
Yeah.
Her Karanas were snap hurricanranas. It was crazy. One of them was when she jumped out of the ring.
Yeah.
She did the flip onto Piper. She almost killed herself. It was crazy.
Yeah. She also is in desperate need of a different signature, because the Eat Defeat is just terrible.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan.
I will admit that.
Yeah. We also had some fun business with Pretty Deadly versus Los Garzas. Pretty Deadly are... I like when they're on screen and doing stuff. I just wish there was a little bit more for them to do. But there's really there's a ceiling for a comedy heel tag team with their skill level. There's a ceiling for that, and I'm worried they're reaching it.
Okay. So, when it comes to who's already reached the ceiling, would you say Pretty Deadly? Or would you say A-Town Down Under? because
A-Town Down Under is on the downswing.
Well, I was going to say they reached their peak like in the first half hour of joining up.
Yeah.
Whereas Pretty Deadly, I actually take pretty seriously when comparing the two.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that what's going on in SmackDown with Pretty Deadly kind of teaming up with DIY and not having that mutual love reciprocated, we might get to see an evolution of them now. I feel like there is a chance they could take the belts off of DIY one day in a heel kind of way, not in like an upfront babyface kind of way.
No, definitely like through cunning shenanigans or by accident.
Yes, which would also be fun.
Yeah. Look, the important thing is there is actual like tag team title action happening in WWE currently. There are actual like tag teams with stakes at play, which is something that we haven't seen in a long time in WWE.
It makes me happy overall. I feel like where WWE flounders with tag team stuff is like they kind of feel like they don't know what to do when it comes to promos nowadays.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times that's where it falls short. So there's not a lot of heat going into these matches where they have to generate it themselves. Because we've been complaining about with DIY for a while up until they got the belts, where there just wasn't a lot of heat behind them coming in, and the fans would have to build up and get behind them during the match. And that was every single time they showed. And it was like, why are we not building this up? Like, these guys are clearly great.
Yeah. We'll give them a bonus. We didn't cover it before, but after their first title defense, their celebration, like they just won like the Stanley Cup in their hometown, was great. That was fun.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Mm-hmm. And then,
but this match though, the Pretty Deadly Los Garzas, it was mid overall.
Overall, it was fine, I guess. For something that was like booked on the show as it was presented to us. Look, I don't mind the occasional like impromptu match on a show. That's fine, like if you can make sense of it. But
you don't like the whole show?
The whole damn show being booked like that is just like, where's the storyline here? Like, where are the character arcs? Where is the motivation for me to actually give a shit and care about these characters, you know?
Yeah, like, it had a lot of chaos in this show, for sure, especially with all this stuff going on. I feel like they could have cut that down to a third, and we still would have had max chaos.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have felt maybe as overpowering. I don't know. This whole show was, like, weird when it came to this. It was the entire show.
Yeah, I mean, right after that we had LA Knight versus Nakamura, rematch, and that ended up being a no contest because of what LA Knight did before, trying to contain the chaos in the form of Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, and it ended up biting him in the ass. Yes, that makes sense in a sort of like continuity way, but you better keep continuity in the same goddamn half hour. But let's be honest with ourselves. Like, that could have they could have drawn that out more. You could have built something off of that. I don't know if they're going to get like new bloodline, with LA Knight, mixing things up now, or if this just means like, oh, you wasted your rematch clause, back of the line, LA Knight.
Yeah, well, okay. I felt like this was like a going out with a whisper of him trying to get the title back. Because I do feel like they're going to move him up the card. I feel like he's probably going to go after the Intercontinental title next.
Okay.
And
right. We're still in that like nebulous like trade window, I guess, with the Netflix thing too. Yeah,
and the only reason I say that is because I feel like they're elevating LA Knight to be able to look like he can even take on the Bloodline himself.
Which, go for it. The only thing of that is like how you combat Jacob Fatu. He is just like, he's like wrestling's like pure energy shadow form. Like, he is uncontrollable. He is, pure id so to speak, and people are never going to doubt him as a wrestler. You know, like, you can't show any weakness with a character like that, because no, people are just going to cheer for him, because regardless of what he does, because he's awesome.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's terrifying. That dance he does after he slams you, Samoa slams you.
Yeah.
I swear to God, that's not him choosing to do that. That's his own body recovering from the speed and strength of that slam that he does.
Yeah.
It's like his bones are going back into place. It's crazy. I mean, he is a werewolf, though, so
it works.
Bones going back into place, it makes sense.
Yeah, he needs it.
I think someone like LA Knight, though, could do well going up against Fatu in a one-on-one, and I think at the same time, Fatu would definitely gain a great advantage with fans, starting to do like more of his own solo thing.
I love you, Solo.
I you know what? He could keep that. He could honestly keep that and be like, I love going solo.
Yeah. Make it work. Boom. Put it on a shirt.
Yeah.
Now, A-Town Down Under versus Motor City Machine Guns. Like, I'm sorry, but I love Motor City Machine Guns. They're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Don't have them tell me that. Have other tag teams and other wrestlers tell me that. They should not be the ones telling me that they're the greatest of all time, or they're, you know, all of these things. Other people should be recognizing that. There needs to be more showing, less telling with this tag team.
I will admit, when it comes to this match in a microscope, not with everything else, they did also show. Yeah. But they were going up against essentially fucking toddlers with A-Town Down Under, let's be real.
Yeah.
So, like, it wasn't really much of a match.
A-Town
it was a
Down
good
Under
match still, technically, but
the one thing I appreciate about A-Town Down Under is their outside of the ring unserious attitude. That part of it works for me. When they're trying to be serious, they fall short every time for me.
Yeah, I don't know. It just... I feel like they undercut themselves a lot because they don't know when to just switch it to only serious mode. They like, it's kind of like what Marvel actually has problems with as well, is undercutting dramatic moments with comedy. Yeah, I feel like their comedy has already reached its peak and is now undercutting their careers.
Yeah, they need a change up just to be interesting again. I don't know if it's actually splitting them up or if they just need to do something with them that actually matters.
Yeah, like I honestly, this is kind of like my same gripe that I had with Nia and Tiffy. It took too long for Tiffy to cash in my opinion. And with all of the violence that Nia was putting towards Tiffy when they were supposed to be friends, she should have done it way sooner. And the same can be said with A-Town Down Under. Austin Theory should have already like destroyed Waller. Yeah. For all of the toxicity and everything. And people tried pointing that out, and then it stalled out and didn't go anywhere, and we didn't see them for like 3 months. So
that leads directly into probably like my most hated segment of this show, which was Tiffany Stratton's celebration thing, and they're attempting at rewriting history of her relationship with Nia, and like her pretending to be like, no, I am an evil mastermind who manipulated Nia, and all of this was, you know, just in service of me cashing it. No, you have been teasing cashing in that briefcase for months. You have been back and forth with Nia on your relationship for months. Like, no, nobody is buying this at all. Like, stop trying to sell it. It's not working at all. You're just looking like a fucking doofus.
For real, especially because I was real happy with her taking the belt too. Like, I want her to be strapped up. I think it's right. But this moment undercut a lot of that, unfortunately. It was weird. I was literally saying to the TV, that's bullshit. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not true. Like, you waited too long. Like, the moment she put her hands around your neck was the moment you should have cashed in.
Yeah. And it really undercut the actual, like, cash in the previous week. Because that was executed very well.
Yeah, because they caught me by surprise. I thought we were just getting another same thing where it wasn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then she actually does it, and I was real happy. I think this promo started off good, though. I have to admit. Everybody was already on that high of her at finally doing it, and her bringing in the puns with her name, saying with Tiffy time and all that was great. But once she started talking about how like she's like the master manipulator,
like
you could see the crowd behind her not even fucking believe her, man.
No, they immediately checked out at that moment. They're like, okay, no, I'm sorry, you lost me. Good luck, because now you got to work uphill.
Well, and unfortunately, the crowd was in that same mood when the match itself was finally called of what was going to happen. More chaos.
Yeah, Naomi, Bianca, and Nia with Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I'm trying to give a little bit of credit here for at least like what they did in the ring, but I'm not into it.
They did make Nia still look like a threat. I will admit.
They did. Yeah, they did.
They went out of their fucking way, though. If she was in the goddamn ring, everybody was going after her.
Yeah.
Which don't get me wrong, I get. She was a very toxic belt holder.
Yeah.
That's the type of character that they wanted to put forward. So I get where the animosity is coming from with all of these women going after her.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt very like pushed onto us, though, because the moment she was out of the ring, it was like she wasn't fucking there.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know, man. It was weird. It was like fatal four-way. It was one of those kind of fatal four-ways.
Mm-hmm. Especially with, Bianca and Naomi wearing matching gear because they're a tag team, but they're also opponents in this match.
There was no cooking with that either. That actually would have worked for me if they had cooked with that for a bit. Where give them 5 minutes by themselves in the ring, and they actually have to debate of whether or not to face each other before anything starts to go down.
Maybe
like,
one or
we
two
only
near
got
falls
like,
between the two of them more.
Yeah, we got like maybe combined a minute of that at best. It needed more time just with that portion of this story in this.
Yeah, but
the Bailey portion, like, it makes sense with her going after Nia, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't sell them all being friends, which was annoying to me. Obviously not Nia, but these three women were friends prior to this. Like, Naomi and Bailey had a whole storyline going about being friends and not wanting to screw each other over, and they even faced each other.
Yeah.
And that match where they had to actually face each other was an awesome fucking match. Like, the holding back, like, you could see it happening. It made sense. This match didn't fucking have any of that. None of it.
Like, it doesn't matter because this time next week it'll be forgotten. Like, this is unfortunately just not that interesting, and unfortunately it's going to lead to Tiffy having a title offense against Bailey, which, fingers crossed, will be interesting. But
oh yeah, Candice LeRae was there.
Yeah,
like, I forgot that. See, that's the issue with this. Like, I can't even remember everything, man. Candice LeRae was there.
Yeah,
I can't tell you why. I mean, she did help. She did help with the win at the end, essentially, but
she didn't end up making a difference though. Like, she went there to help Nia and didn't actually help.
And that's like the third time in a row now.
Yeah,
where I felt like, why is she there?
Like, and what is her motivation at this point? Because Nia's not the champ anymore. Why are you sucking up to her?
Right. I feel really bad for all of the wrestlers involved in this portion because it flopped hard, at least for me.
the other thing that flopped hard for me too was the main event. Jimmy and Cody going up against Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, because like the fighting on and off like all night, great. Put them in a match, okay, fine. Like, at least you've been building that throughout the show. That at least makes sense. The thing that really took me out of it was Kevin Owens showing up and Cody dropping everything and just abandoning Jimmy for KO.
So this is another one of those moments where I feel like they're overselling something to us.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Cody has a darker side.
Yeah.
I personally, with how they sold Cody to us over this past year and even prior, I don't think even with his worst enemies would he run away like that to go fight this random dude that you have beef with while you're in the middle of a match with one of your friends or someone you consider a friend. Like you would stick it out.
Yeah. The way I would have structured this in getting the same result in a better way would have been, no, Kevin Owens interferes and drags Cody from the ring.
Yes. Yes, 100%. That is actually a great way to do it, because you're keeping Cody's kind of character going.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe like Cody pulls a Roman, and instead of focusing on the match, he turns to look or something at Kevin a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, where it's leading up, where you can still say Cody's having issues 100% focusing.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. It drew me out of the match.
Yeah. Instead of it being like, okay, no, Cody and Kevin Owens hate each other that much, and Cody, can't stop himself. It just felt like, no, Cody is everything that Kevin Owens says he is. He's just a piece of shit.
Yep. That's why I feel like they're overselling this, like trying to show us Cody has a darker side kind of thing. You can build up to this naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like you kind of were with him all of a sudden kind of helping ex enemies out and stuff, like where you could have gone that path where like, oh, actually he's friends with them, instead of like the quarterback route where it's like, no, I need to be the better man. Like, even though, I beat them, I need to, help all, rising tide raises all ships kind of shit.
Well, even so, it like is the aspect of it being like, I am teaming with them for the greater good. Still makes sense for him in character. It
does. Yeah. What I was trying to say is you could use those moments to do some work with it, so that we can look back and go, oh, maybe Cody isn't so great.
Yeah.
Like, you could have, like, these moments that did happen, they could have tailored them already to make us believe it, because we're not going to memory hole. Like, we remember kind of how these things go down. Cody was being the bigger man and trying to help out and stuff. He wasn't being a piece of shit and being like, oh, I'm pro bloodline.
Yeah, like they have set a precedent for history mattering again.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to be consistent with it.
Yeah, don't memory hole us on this shit.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I would have thought what is going to draw me out of this match was how bright Jimmy's fucking clothes were. And it was Kevin Owens.
Yeah. No, it was KO showing up, and like, I do want to. I wish I could give them more credit for that table spot to close out the show with KO and Cody, but it just looked weak. The impact with the ground, great. The launch into that looked terrible.
Do you want to know partially why I think that didn't also sell? We already got that with KO and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
We already had that same thing happen. Like, it was just a repeat moment, essentially, in my book. So it didn't even hit that hard to begin with for me. But you're right, though. The jump into it was weak as fuck.
Yeah.
The landing was good.
Yeah.
The landing was real good. Especially the aftermath was good. But yeah, it didn't sell for me. Like, this whole ending was mid in my book.
Like, the overall show was kind of meh. It was more interesting than Raw, but it still wasn't like it's what I've been saying this whole time. When like WWE's at like the peak that they're at right now, it feels like anything they do can't miss, and it feels like the overconfidence of that is starting to show some cracks with the booking. I hope they can, switch all the gears on and get back into like their top tier form like they've been operating at. And luckily we're building up to the Rumble. That means, WrestleMania season's right around the corner. That's usually when everything starts firing on all cylinders, when everybody is giving the most shits because they are, gearing for the biggest show of the year. And that's kind of what I'm holding out hope for. I hope this isn't like a sign of a downward trend. I hope this is just like, okay, we've got to get some stuff, put some pieces in motion for now, and then, we got to kick off our real storylines coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, like, one of my other worries is, like, I feel like I know that SmackDown and Raw have always kind of had this, like, how different are they kind of thing. And back in the day, they did the whole, like feud between the two where you couldn't cross sides and shit.
Except at Survivor Series or any other time.
Or any other time. But that's how they would sell it, though,
Yeah.
Like you can't cross the line and go over there and get that belt, and then until someone stole the belt and united the belts. Well, you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
My worry here is WWE is no longer looking at anyone else's competition. It is only viewing itself as competition. And I feel like SmackDown is trying to be different than Raw now, to the point where I don't know how well it works.
Now, especially considering that, like, when you lay it out like that, when the presentation is still the same, when the in between the ropes work is still the same, when the setups are still the same, it doesn't really come across as them being any different. Right.
Like, that's why I feel like this was like the chaos of this past show was testing the waters.
I mean, that's what Raw has felt like all year before Netflix. It felt like barely controlled chaos, and Adam Pearce as GM even like spoke about that on camera in character as being like, no, this is what I am shooting for. This creates a more interesting, product. It's Crash TV. I want it to feel like, anything could happen at any time.
And yet when they moved over to Netflix, it was hyper controlled,
sterilized, almost.
Yeah. So that begs the question then. Are they doing that with SmackDown because they intend to move it off of regular TV?
I don't know. Maybe.
Like sooner rather than later, and we're just not knowing about it. And I don't mean sooner in the next few months or nothing, but
no,
like next couple years or so.
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't at this point, because I mean, how much were they glazing themselves over the Netflix numbers the next day, even with the charts? God. Even Stephanie McMahon is fucking tweeting about it.
Yeah, it didn't matter what platform you were on. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't escape seeing the numbers. And it was like, okay, dude. All right.
We get it.
We understand.
Okay. Like,
I feel like part of me believes that we're starting to see where the snake got not eating itself, but got a little taste. Like got a nip of the tip of its tail.
Yeah. Just the tip.
Yeah. And either it keeps trying to take bites of itself or it moves on to new prey. And I'm worried which path they're going to choose. Like I'm hoping new prey, obviously.
I think you've got a very good point there, because as we've seen these past couple of years with AEW, that competition makes the entire industry healthier. Particularly with WWE, with them getting better conditions for the wrestlers, better paydays, and just the ability to work a different schedule, and be healthier overall. And it creates a more competitive market with more interesting storylines and better wrestling overall. And I would prefer that rather than, WWE reverting to, the previous 20 years where they were just a monopoly and the only game in town and just sucking the life out of the business and everything coming down because of that, because monopolies kill industries.
Right. And I worry, like, we're at that, we're kind of meeting that point now where they have to decide. Do they still view the others as competition, or is it just themselves again?
I mean, okay, if we're going to talk about competition, we got to talk a little bit about AEW this week. So you didn't see Dynamite or Collision, right? Okay.
No.
All right. Number one, still AEW doing a simulcast on Max. Fantastic. No hitches in their system. It really does help the presentation with just how wonderful Max has been. And actually Netflix did a fantastic job too with keeping the stream. I got 0 hitches watching any of the shows this week. But kick it off, we had Will Ospreay versus Buddy Matthews. Right off the bat, 0 hesitation on AEW's programming. We are not doing 30 minutes before our first match. We are kicking off with a barn burner.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Ospreay, Matthews, just 2 guys that don't know the meaning of slow down, really. Just a fucking brutal, wonderful, excellent way to kick off the show. Like, work rate is everything to guys like this, and they just no, we're gonna leave it all in the ring. Bit of strangeness for the business after the match with Ospreay. Number one, accidentally calling Buddy Matthews Buddy Murphy and saving himself immediately in the moment, but laying out what rumors are circulating once again, that Malachi Black is done with AEW. So this promo, I guess, is leading into that. We're telling Buddy that he doesn't need a leader, and if he needs a friend, I'll be your buddy anytime, pal. So maybe we're seeing the House of Black split up and we're getting new things for Brody King and Buddy. Who knows? If Malachi Black's on his way out, just fucking do it already. If not, fully lean into something else, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
All 3 of those guys are too great as individual wrestlers to just not do anything with. Fucking strap the rocket to Buddy and Brody and let those fucking 2 just fucking cook, because they're awesome. They're just awesome.
God, yeah.
We also had Private Party doing a championship celebration, strangely, because they had a title defense. But whatever, this was all in service of the Hurt Syndicate making their entrance for Bobby Lashley's match against Mark Briscoe, and they get invited behind the velvet rope just so they could be like, hey, yeah, cheers to you and cheers to us taking those titles off of you, because you 2 are about to get murdered by Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin in the near future.
Oh, dear God, yes.
Yeah, I'm all for it. This also, this went straight into Bobby and Mark Briscoe going 1-on-1, and this is dope. It feels bad to cheer Mark Briscoe getting murdered in the ring, because I love Mark Briscoe, but that's exactly what happened. It was competitive, but it was brutal.
As I would expect, though.
Yeah. I just want Bobby Lashley to ratchet up the violence another notch. That's all I'm asking. I think everything that they're doing with the Hurt Syndicate is fantastic. I just want him to be a little bit more violent to really sell it.
Well, and maybe they're building up to that, though. To get people prepared to see some of the things that Bobby Lashley is capable of.
Yeah. Because I love Bobby Lashley. I love Shelton Benjamin. I love what MVP's doing. That's all fucking great. I just want them to keep going. I want more of what they're doing. That's it.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, I totally get it. Yeah.
Then this led into the men's Casino Gauntlet championship opportunity match. Starting off, Jay White, Hangman Page, first one's in there. perfect sense. Two absolute fucking masters of the craft right there. First surprise entrance is Wheeler Yuta, which doesn't make a lot of sense because Jon Moxley's the champ. So what would have happened if Wheeler won? Don't really know. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it was just great because they were just kind of like throughout the match, Wheeler was just getting like fucking tossed around like a fucking rag doll and just getting the shit kicked out of him randomly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Then we had the first surprise, which was Swerve's music hitting. But no, it's not Swerve. It was just a tease by Ricochet to fuck with Hangman Page.
Freaking Tato Shay.
Yeah. Great bit of fucking work here. Once again, Hangman being just too damn good, selling that like Swerve music hitting and ready to fuck, like looking like he's ready to burn the world to the ground again. Love it.
That's so awesome. Damn it, I missed this. Damn.
Yeah. Next entrance was Adam Cole, followed quickly by Daniel Garcia, then Powerhouse Hobbs and Roderick Strong. Then surprisingly Lance Archer just being a fucking monster. And final two entrants, Kyle O'Reilly and Jeff Jarrett coming out, getting stopped by Wheeler Yuta and never even making his entrance into the actual ring itself before the finish.
What?
Yeah. I mean, it was literally just a tease of Jeff Jarrett coming out and Wheeler Yuta just being like, nope, you're not making it to the ring, and they brawled to the back.
Okay, you know what? I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
But overall, Powerhouse Hobbs, rightfully so, getting the win and cutting a promo after the match, straight up being like, hey, I've got nothing to fear from Jon Moxley, and I'm going to make him my bitch. Just straight up laying it out there. Looking like $1 million in this. There was a fantastic moment when coming back from commercial break, it was Lance Archer and Powerhouse Hobbs in opposite corners, just taking Ricochet and launching him back and forth competitively.
They were playing Pong.
Yeah, with Ricochet. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love it.
It was super fun. Nothing really too crazy outside of that stuff though. There was some good exchanges of people just shouting meat between Hobbs and Archer when they were brawling. Hobbs looking like $1 million in this. And then after the fact, Jeff Jarrett came out with a mic being like, hey, I don't know how many more rounds I got left in me, but this is going to be my last run. Only to get interrupted by MJF.
Of course.
Of course. But MJF showing that he's learned some lessons from Samoa Joe and trying to get Jeff Jarrett to work with him so that Jeff Jarrett can win in exchange for MJF to get his first shot at the belt when Jeff Jarrett gets it.
Yeah, we don't need no repeats, but I understand the try.
Yeah. Decent promo between the two of them. Especially love Jeff Jarrett calling MJF a one-hit wonder with his title reign. It was pretty good. That's going to be on the shirt.
My man. I was about to say, my man just made a shirt.
Yeah, he did.
God.
Oh, it's so crazy that Jeff Jarrett is at the level he's at right now and how respected he is just for how hated he was back in the day. But
he did his time, man. He put the work in, so...
There's definitely, if this is a feud for Jeff Jarrett's last run, I'm all for it. MJF's a great fucking choice for this.
God, yeah.
They're gonna make money together. It's gonna be fucking gold soon,
and it'll help freaking elevate MJF too. Be able to say that he took out fucking Jeff Jarrett, dude, like for real.
Yeah. Following this, we had Adam Copeland. Coming out to the ring, call it the Death Riders. Of course, Moxley, Claudio, Pac, Wheeler Yuta, and Marina Shafir, roll out to, throw the beat down. Moxley pulling out a bag, getting ready to suffocate Cope, only to get saved by FTR, but the numbers game is against them, so they get beaten down again. But then Powerhouse Hobbs comes out to make the save because he's got a title shot, and you know what? He's not afraid of him. And I kind of love this bit of setup for Powerhouse Hobbs, making him look like a fucking threat, backing off Moxley.
Well, I mean, I would really like to see Hobbs strapped up. So,
yeah,
if this is how they lead into him eventually taking the belt, like never backing down and shit, do it.
Yeah,
seriously, do it.
Main event time was a women's 3-way match for their number 1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match this week, because we're getting women's ones now too. All for this, more parity.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, and Toni Storm. Can't miss, obviously. Great moments in this one. There was a fantastic spot where Willow had Toni Storm by the legs after Chris Statlander put her on the ground, and as Chris Statlander is like hot dogging for the crowd, Willow just fucking slingshot her into Chris Statlander's crotch head first. It was hilarious. And then she like that, blows for the camera. It was good. Excellent character work by Toni Storm once again, kind of like selling this idea that she's brand new to AEW and she's like green around the ears, and like after the match she's being like, sorry, it wasn't Tony time yet. I'm still gonna work. It was an honor to be in a match with the 2 big stars like Willow and Chris Statlander, former TBS champions, both of them. Just really excited to be here, guys. Just not my time yet. Gotta keep grinding.
How long until we find out that she actually just restarted the game?
I don't know.
And is just playing a brand new character, and we're all just the NPCs in her fucking video game.
Yeah, in her new game plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acting like she doesn't know any of us. We're like, we know you. What are you doing?
I don't know. Renee obviously just once again just doing like some of the best work you can see from somebody who does backstage interviews, because she's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I love that. Oh my god.
Yeah. And then to what should have been a much bigger ovation from this crowd. Not discrediting them, just it should have been a bigger crowd, because by God, Kenny Omega coming back, making his return to Dynamite, first time, comes out and does a promo to make him appear human again after that display at Wrestle Dynasty. I mean, this is kind of what you need to do with Kenny at this point. You can't have him be completely invincible looking right off the bat. He has to appear human. Talks about, his bout with diverticulitis, having to have 2 feet of intestine removed. Talking about, and I don't know if this is a shoot or work, but having to go back into the hospital 4 more times over the past year for 4 more weeks each time for his training to get back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Just, insane. But laying out
God.
like this isn't about ego. This isn't about vengeance. This isn't about anything other than, me giving back all the love that I felt from, you, the audience, and throwing it all out there because I don't know who I am without, wrestling type of thing. Only to get interrupted by Don Callis' massive fucking head appearing on the Tron and the music hitting. And he gets about 3 words out there before Kenny just fucking jumps him and just says, no, fuck you, Don Callis. I don't want to hear anything out of you. And obviously, like, Don Callis' goons come out to, save him and stuff like that. Kenny takes a shot from a chair right to the ribs. All this, to end the night in service of Kenny Omega versus Brian Cage, the Machine, next week on Dynamite. This week on Dynamite for his in-ring return in AEW.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Also, he got saved by Will Ospreay. So we're getting teased up. Are they going to work together? Or are they going to fight each other? It's great. Great stuff.
I mean, they might have to do the fight each other so they can work together kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe. Kind of hoping that's the case, because bring it. Just fucking inject that shit into my veins.
I would love them to play the God versus Mortal arc.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Omega as the God that he is.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe have Ospreay get close to beating him and just falling short.
Yeah. lots of stuff to look forward this upcoming week. Very clearly, from was it Chad Gable claiming, I don't know where this talk of me being afraid of luchadors is coming from, but you match me up with a luchador, I don't care who they are, and I'll take them on, only for Penta's name reveal later in the Raw. So we're getting that this week. Something to look forward to.
Yep.
God, and something else to look forward to in, God, a couple months' time now, unfortunately. We're going to have to wait for Windy City Riot. It's been announced who Tanahashi is fighting in Chicago. Mm-hmm. It's one man who now works for 3 companies, Konosuke Takeshita, taking on Tanahashi in Chicago, April 11th. Yeah, boy.
Windy City, give me tickets so I can interview them.
Yeah.
Give me press pass. I'll buy the tickets. Just give me press pass.
Yeah.
I'll come out to the show. I want to come to the show, please.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. And then there was a wonderful bit of business also that was after Raw's main event that one of the few celebrities who didn't get camera time, Kieran Culkin, saying hi to CM Punk after his match. An adorable little interaction where he's like, didn't you just win an award? Yeah, I won a Golden Globe last night. This is how I celebrate. And Punk's like, yeah, I just won too. He goes, yeah, I saw. It was adorable.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, man. But
yeah, a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
A lot of wrestling.
Yeah,
and
ups and downs, man. Ups and downs.
From what it sounds like I need to watch AEW when we're done with this.
Yeah, I'd say watch Dynamite for the most part, and definitely catch the main event of Collision. Cope throwing everything on the line was pretty decent last night in the main event.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will do that then. All you night shifters, let me know what I missed.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. Also, real quick, our condolences to the folks over in California dealing with the hellfire that they currently have going on. Go donate to the Red Cross if you can.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna donate clothes, wash them first, please. They don't want your mildewy, stink ass, t-shirts. Give them a wash
and dry. The whole process. Soap.
Yeah.
Take the lint out of the dryer before you start it, so you don't start a fire in your house.
Yeah.
Let's just be safe and friendly and sterile.
Yeah. And before we call it a night, I do want to highlight something of just wonderful internet business in the form of Matt Cardona posting just the most unhinged, I'm not going to read all of it, message DM from a fan where they just were talking about how for the past 7 years they got into bodybuilding because of him. They are so inspired by him and they really want to smell his farts. Yeah.
So you had us in the first half. You definitely had us in the first half. I was like, what's wrong with this? And then it turned. It took a hard turn.
Yeah.
We just got Wile E. Coyote'd by our own stuff. Like, we ran into what we thought was a tunnel, and it was not.
No, it was just painted on there. Yeah.
Like, why?
Because people are weird, dude. It's
just be like, remember back when, like, you couldn't just, like, DM your favorite, like, celebrity or whatever? You had to, like, send snail mail.
Yeah.
Do that instead. Write that down. Like, put that on paper if you have enough conviction to put it to paper and send it in the mail.
It's just even more than that. Like, go ahead, write it down, put it on a piece of paper. Use your own hand. Don't type it up. Actually, physically write it down. Put it in a letter, and then burn it because nobody else needs to see that. Ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to ask, though.
Yeah.
Did Cardona just fart onto a piece of paper and send it back to him?
You know, I don't know because he presented the screenshot without comment. There was also a couple of wonderful comments from it because this intrepid fan did name themselves as Will. So Will Ospreay is one of the first replies to this, and he just says, "Don't expose me like this, man."
I'm going to say it right now.
Yep.
Will Ospreay would definitely buy the jarred version of Cardona's farts.
Yeah.
He would probably never open them.
No. Then it would lose all its value. You can't unseal something like that. You gotta keep it, in this package.
Yeah, you gotta let the flavor stay.
Mm-hmm. As our dear Will put it, sir, I really want to smell your gaseous sulfuric farts. Please let me know, sir. There's about 15 times he calls him sir in this message.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I will say that's a double-edged sword. You're really playing with fire there, asking for some farts, because like the other night, man, I was dead ass asleep, like 100%. I woke myself up from farting.
Oh god.
And then I moved the blanket to cover myself up after I did wake up, just like I need to sleep. And I accidentally put the blanket over my nose. God. I have never in my life almost made myself throw up before like that from one of my own farts. And I slid out from under the blanket. I got up and I left the room. And I left that landmine laying next to Christine all night.
That is despicable, sir.
And my justification is there would have been more landmines and such, but I saved her that trouble because I went out in the living room and slept. So, be careful what you ask for, because Cardona could be having one of them fucking sweaty ass fucking taco farts, man.
Dude, really
fucking putting on like fucking Valentino Negro on there and going to town.
I mean, with a guy of his size and stature and build, you know he's ingesting a ton of protein.
I was gonna say, dude, those meat farts, bro. Which is probably why I almost killed myself, because it was like that night I had 2 steak tacos, and then I had a chorizo burrito.
God, that's just asking for trouble.
And I had the hottest sauce you could ask for.
I don't want to ask the night shift to leave a comment below about any sort of raucous, sulfuric, gaseous farts in the comments below. So instead, I'm going to ask them how they felt about Hulk Hogan getting booed off of TV, and thank them for joining us on this episode of the podcast. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the engagement, hit all the buttons. Derek, let's just say goodnight to the folks.
Buenas noches, night shift.
Oh, good night, everybody.